In the Philippines, what is the role of the female? What is the role of the man? We're going to talk about that. Hey, what's happening, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It means the world to me. You know, I got to thinking about a lot of, the many times that I've been to the Philippines. I admire all the people there. I just love the way that you get treated. I think that they're very genuine, and they're very humble and very just happy people. So I wanted to do a video on the gender roles of the Philippines. What is the role of the female and what is the role of the male? A lot of this stuff, guys, I had done a little research on, so I'm going to be reading a lot of it from what I had printed out. Only because I'm not real familiar with that. So I just thought it would be interesting to know this. To start off, to start off, the gender differences in the Philippine culture can be seen as in dating, marriage, education, workforce, and families. Okay, um, and so this is going to start us off the year 1521, and there was evidence that the women in the Philippines were able to divorce their husbands without any problems or costs. Women also had a central role in society. Back then, the women in history were able to become political authorities. A shift in gender roles began during um, during the arrival of the Spanish Perez in 2013. Perez. After the Spanish had arrived, they were stunned by how much freedom the women had. During the colonization process, the Spanish role affected gender differences as the women began to adopt more of a traditional role. So, okay, so continuing after the Spanish colonization, when Filipinos are born, they are immediately expected to play a specific role in their lives. The Filipino men are brought up to take after their fathers and the elder men, and in which the women are raised to become less dominating roles to take after their mothers and their elder women. Uh, in the modern Philippine society, changes and constitutions are and have been made in order to shed a positive light in women's gender roles, such as granting rights to women to be part of nation building as well as being provided safe working conditions taking account of material functions. Um, in family and labor life, the traditional role of Filipino women are to work in gardens, care for the house, care for the children, because they are basically the pattern of conduct for the entire family, which is the Philippine culture. On the other hand, Filipino men are in charge of cultivating land and are categorized into the more dominating role in society. Overall, it is seen that the men in the Philippines hold a higher rank than women in regards to gender roles. The men are expected to have more freedom and provide for their families, while the women usually stay at home and complete chores as well as take care of the elderly and children of the household. Now, what exactly does that mean? The men are expected to have more freedom. I don't understand what that means. Freedom away from home? Is that what that means? However, in certain circumstances within labor, men have the ability to work. Okay, to work as nurses and teachers, and women have the ability to become attorneys and doctors. All right. In regards to gender roles in marriage, the Filipino culture does not take part in arranged marriages. The average age for marriage in the Philippines is 22. Couples who are married are expected to be established in jobs as well as to take care of their families or the education of their siblings. I believe that every country in the world strives for gender equality. While the norm for gender might not be as equal today, there are still changes and improvements that occur for better medium and gender roles. The dignity of women in different societies should be held up to a higher standard and needs to grow in gender equality. You know, okay, I get it. Well, it should be the man. Honestly, it should be the man that's taking care of the family. You are the breadwinner. You're the one that should be paying, providing and making the money to pay for the bills, the food, put on the table, and put clothes on your children. That is how it is here in the States. A man's job is to take care of his whole family, not just some. But here in this country, things are a whole lot different. You have here what is considered to be a lot of deadbeat dads that don't want to provide for a child that is theirs. I, for one, was a child that grew up that way. I had a biological father who left when I was just a baby, wanted nothing to do with me or my three sisters. Did not receive child support from this man. He just kind of threw us completely out of his life. But here now there are very strict laws into place that a woman who is carrying someone's child can actually file for child support. They could actually go to court and they can file they can't even, sorry about that, guys. They can file for child support, which they will do everything in their power to go after the father of the child. And yes, men will serve jail time here for not taking care of your child. Okay, so they become a little more strict on that. I also found it very interesting, and I'm trying to think of who it was that had mentioned this in one of their videos. But it was rather disturbing to me on how a man can basically have sex with a 12-year-old girl in the Philippines. That is of the legal age in the Philippines, 12-year-old girl. It's very disturbing knowing this. It just should not be. That's what could a 12-year-old possibly know about adult decisions? So that, for one, is rather disturbing to me. But putting that all aside, I personally, from what I see in the Philippines, I don't live there, but just my immediate family in the Philippines, I see just that. I see how the men do their part, the women are doing their part. And here, there's a lot of, like here in the States, if a man and woman are together, a lot of times there's arguments in the household because the woman is getting tired of having to do everything in the home, even if the man is working. She wants help in the home. She wants help cleaning the house. She wants help with, doing dishes. She wants this done, that done. So here it seems to be women want to be basically treated the same way that a man is to be treated, like they are just as equal as the man. In other words, you work construction. Well, I can do the same thing as a female. I can work construction. I can dig ditches. I can dig holes, and I can lift 50-pound bags of cement. Here, things are a lot different. a lot different. In the Philippines, um, it just seems as though the men know what their role is, the women know what their role is, and it's pretty much left at that. Now, there's nothing wrong with women working. Uh, the way society is today and the way that things are around the world, usually both parents have to work to make a living, to survive. Um, but besides all that, I just thought I'd share that. I thought it's kind of interesting, especially back in 1521, where women had more rights than what they do now in the Philippines. So there's a lot that has changed. Um, I think overall, really what it comes down to, in my opinion, is I think any woman wants to be with a man that is going to take care of the family. They want that. And that's exactly how it should be. It shouldn't be the woman worrying about, paying the bills and, how am I going to put food on this table? Does that seem like an awful lot to the man? Not really, because I personally believe that it is the man's job. If you bring children into the world, that comes with that responsibility. You have to put clothing on that child. That child needs to be at school. That child needs to eat. You need to provide everything for that child, plus your spouse as well. So there you have it, y'all. And not only that, but I think for the most part, I think that most children have more of a closeness to their mothers than they do the fathers. Some children are close to their fathers, but I think they just have that special bond, especially at birth, with the mothers. And that is something that never leaves you. That's always part of you, even as an adult. You always only really hear people talking about my mother, my mother this, my mother that, or my mother. So there's just a special bond that's there at birth with your mother. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I got on that. Let me know what you think about that. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about what the culture is like in the Philippines, only from things that I have seen. So leave me a comment. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit that bell so that you guys know when the next video is coming. And share the video. Just share it, guys. Come on. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.